Afternoon everybody, Grant Neal here again, at home again, another lockdown. Hope you're all keeping safe and hopefully this will be the last one of that. I want to talk to you today about something that I get asked all the time, especially when ball collecting, and it's how do you flick the ball up like that without having to pick down or bend down and pick it up and then hurt your back. So there's a few steps and a few factors that we have to be aware of in order to get this ball bouncing up nice and consistently, and then we can start to add some other skills in that later on. So the first part, guys, and the thing we really need to be aware of is having let's say a flat club face. So my club face is pretty much parallel to the floor, and that ball should balance on there as long as I can find that flat club face. If I come in a little bit closer, you'll see, hopefully if I can find a flat bit, I can balance that ball on without it falling off. That is a square club face. Now if you look at the shaft itself, the shaft is not square, it's at an angle as well. So that means that when I'm holding the club, I'm going to have to hold it at this kind of angle. And the first thing I will get you to do is to see if you can balance the ball on there first. That's really, really important. Because if that angle is aimed in a different direction, when a ball hits it, it's going to bounce off there. Club choice, guys, something else that we also need to take into consideration. Obviously, I'm trying to get that club face flat, like we just said. Now, a lob wedge is going to be flatter for me already than a 6-iron, which means the lob wedge is going to be easy to flick up into there. You can do it with a 6-iron, but I definitely suggest you do it with the lob wedge. If you watch me with the 6-iron, I want to get nice and low and flick it up. It can be done, but it's not as easy as that. Second part, guys, and again, really, really important. We need to make sure that when we're hitting the ball onto the club face, we have to hit the middle, all right? This is really, really important. If you watch me hitting the ball from the middle of the club face, you'll see that my arm doesn't have to move too much, and the ball comes out at a pretty consistent height. Now, if I move this point to the toe, I've got to work really hard to flick that ball up because that ball is not going to bounce off the club face so easily. So the mistake I see in most people is that they hit in the ball on different parts of the club face, which means you need different varying amounts of strength. It's going to be really difficult to control. Now the final part of the jigsaw, guys, is that this ball is on the ground. Now I can start with the ball in my hand and do that a little bit easier, but I need to get this ball from the ground up into my hands or into a bucket, wherever it is, okay? So to do that, I need to get my club underneath the ball and then flick it up in the air. Now if I do this too slow, the ball's going to roll off, okay? So it has to be a fast motion, just like that. Now it's quite difficult to get it up that high at first, so you might want to try some smaller ones before you flick it up, but hopefully, guys, if you can do that, find the middle of the club face and make sure the club is nice and flat so we get straight bounces. You should be able to do it for as long as you like.